Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Now that I've got you trying to remember, let's talk about false memories and the possibility of alternate universes.
It's a Mandela Effect.
The what effect?
The Mandela Effect, when someone has a memory that doesn't coincide with everybody else's or the facts.
No. It's called the Mingala Effect.
The Mandela Effect has been an internet meme for almost a decade. It's always been called that.
See, you're having a Mingala Effect about the Mandela Effect.
The Mandela Effect refers to the phenomenon where a group of people misremember a fact or event. Some have used it as a means of supporting the existence of parallel universes, but we're not going to get too deep into that in this video. Instead, we've collected 10 great examples of the Mandela Effect that will blow your mind. Now, before we test you for some false memories, why not subscribe and click the bell for notifications of future videos? And if you've ever fallen victim to the Mandela Effect, let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up.
Number 10. Mirror, Mirror. You may think you're a Disney fanatic, but unless you cringe every time someone says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," when quoting Snow White, you're not quite there yet. It seems that just about everyone believes the quote starts as, "Mirror, mirror," but that's not the case. While we remember it that way, the line is actually, "Magic mirror on the wall." Where the false memory of the Queen reciting that line may come from is from the original translations of the fairy tale. Starting with the German Brothers Grimm story, the Queen says, "Spieglein, Spieglein," which translates to "Mirror, mirror." Number 9. I am your father. We all know the line and probably have repeated it at least once in our lifetime. But chances are we've been misremembering how the scene actually went. During the most iconic part in The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader doesn't address Luke by name. So when someone says, "Luke, I am your father," you should correct them immediately. The real line that we've ignored and incorrectly committed to memory was, "No, I am your father," which makes far more sense considering Luke's line before it was, "He told me you killed him." Him, of course, being his father. Number 8. Harry Houdini's death. How exactly did famed magician Harry Houdini die? If your mind immediately went to stories of his drowning during one of his more dangerous tricks, you've fallen victim to the Mandela Effect. Though many may vividly remember hearing about his drowning, Houdini passed away from peritonitis after his appendix ruptured. Some even think he died in the 1930s, while his date of death was actually Halloween 1926. Number 7. The Misquoting of the Lambs. We've all had that one friend who's done the eerie, "Hello, Clarice," in an attempt to mimic the impressive acting ability of Anthony Hopkins. The reality is, however, that Hannibal Lecter never muttered those words. It's such a popular and misremembered quote that it even made an appearance in another movie, 1996's The Cable Guy. If you scour the web, you'll find dozens of memes devoted to those two simple words. Some may argue that he does say, "Hello, Clarice," towards the end of the film when he calls the FBI agent, but he very clearly says, "Well, Clarice." Number 6. We Are the Champions lyrics. Admit it, you found yourself singing along to Queen's "We Are the Champions," and at the very end of the song threw in a last "of the world." It's a common false memory that people have about the popular ballad, likely caused by the pattern of the song's chorus. Though Freddie Mercury did throw one final "of the world" onto live versions of the song, the recorded iteration is the one people hear most frequently. The song also tops off the Mighty Ducks 2's credits and also features that final "of the world," though it does appear to be awkwardly spliced in. Number 5. Curious George's tail. If you were given the task of drawing Curious George from memory, would you give him a tail or not? If you would, then you suffer from a false memory of what Curious George looks like. Don't feel bad though. Though there isn't any depiction of him with a tail, that tends to be how people visualize him. There are people that even remember George both with and without a tail. George was designed as a chimp though, and chimps don't have tails. Number 4. The Monopoly Man Monocle. Maybe it's because it certainly looks like he should have one, but people incorrectly think that the Monopoly Man, or Rich Uncle Pennybags, sports a monocle. The rich mogul certainly looks good in a monocle, but no design of the iconic board game mascot includes the distinctive eyepiece. Some speculate that people confuse him with Mr. Peanut, as they have a similar look. But Mr. Peanut very much so looks like a peanut, while the Monopoly Man, well, doesn't. Number 3. The Lindbergh Baby. Do you remember learning about the tragedy of the Lindbergh Baby? Kidnapped on March 1, 1932, the baby of aviation legend Charles Lindbergh was never seen again despite the many attempts of the Lindbergh family to have him returned safely. Now, if you didn't catch the fallacy in that statement, then you either know nothing about the Lindbergh kidnapping, or you're like the many others that misremember the details of Charles Lindbergh III's kidnapping. In reality, the Lindbergh baby was found less than a mile from home and was determined to have been murdered the night of the kidnapping. Number 2. Shazaam. Sinbad, aka David Atkins, had quite a lot of fun with this false memory when it became widely popular in early 2017. People were adamant that they remember watching a 1990s movie where Sinbad played a genie. College Humor had a little fun with it too and hired Sinbad to film lost footage of the movie to post on April Fool's Day of 2017. The most popular theory is that people confused the non-existent Sinbad movie with Shaquille O'Neal's portrayal of a genie in Shazaam.
But what if I don't remember either movie?
You win!
Number 1. The first death of Nelson Mandela. This is the false memory that started it all. Paranormal consultant and author Fiona Broome coined the phrase when she realized that her memory of Nelson Mandela's death in the 1980s was completely off the mark. The South African president and human rights activist was alive up until 2013, but Broome's memory was adamant that he died in prison. As the author did some digging, she found that she wasn't the only one that thought Mandela died 30 years before he actually did. Thanks for watching. Don't misremember to subscribe to this channel, click the bell, like the video, and leave a comment below. Hey, you know that Shazaam one? Anybody else remember Gomer Pyle saying that all the time?